Friends, welcome back. In this tiny little series that I'm doing, I'm helping you recognize that there is a great need as we move closer to that 2027 shift, where integration is going to be key and critical to humanity. And integration means taking all the bits and pieces and parts, the not self, the true self, the experience, all of those, nasty narratives, all of those really positive narratives, and we got to bring it all in. We got to bring it in and recognize and see what's going on internally so that you can become receptive, because that's where we're heading, receptive to a whole new way of interacting and participating with life, so that abundance can flow, so that relationships can flow, so that the shock of this ginormous change doesn't have to pull you off track. It can actually enhance every new beginning because you've integrated all the bits and pieces of yourself. Okay. Now, in saying that, there's a huge confusion out there around business structure and the solutions that you offer in your business. Those are two totally different things. Okay. They're two totally different things. Today, we are going to focus in on solutions. And what up here somewhere, maybe, if I can figure it out, I'm going to put a card up there because I think I can do that, where you will be able to go to a playlist, and that playlist is called Make Money Series. Okay, so I'm going to go through the body graph, like in a very simplistic way, so you can understand. And then I will lean you into, you can go pop over to that series and check it out. And of course, if you want more help with this, that's what I do. Okay, so first we talked about the 500,000 different hits every single month for the two words, coaching and human design. Now, if you just can lean into the potential there, it is massive. Now, I get it. It's probably not 500,000 people, but that's 500,000 looks into help. How can someone help me with my human design? How can someone help me be coached so that I can, prosper and be the best version of myself? And then number two, we talked about niche, which we're going to kind of get into a little bit today again. Niching, there's 40 plus niches that I shared with you that you could embed the human design tool into and prosper. And why are you going to prosper? Well, number one, you have to know who you are. You have to know what your experiences are and what you bring to the table. What's your skill set? And then you need to understand what are the problems that your people are having. Now, how will you know what the problems your people are having? Well, it comes from your undefined or open centers, channels, gates. We're going to just talk really simply about the centers today is really what we're going to talk about. Now, why are the solutions that you are going to offer people, why are they found in your openness? Because that's how you take in the other. That's how you let experiences flow through you. That's how money and energetics flow through you. That's the neutrino ocean that is imprinted and goes through someone else and gets imprinted, and someone else and gets imprinted, and goes through you and gets imprinted, and goes to somebody else and gets imprinted. Sorry about that. I'm just going to pause this. Okay, so that's why the openness holds all of your prosperity, okay? Everything. That's where wealth is found. Why? Because you are learning, you are gathering so much wisdom about other people, about the program, about energetics, about money, because it's a thorough way. Let's say that it's a thorough way. It goes through you. But here's what happens. We get trained immediately to be in a lack mindset. I can't afford it. We don't have enough money for that. And we start to create a construct or a frame in our lives about this negative lack mindset. Okay. So what does that do? That immediately starts to constrict and put up little tiny barriers in all of your openness. So imagine, oh, you're putting up a barrier. Oh, no, nothing's going to flow through here. I'm going to be totally holding on to things that I shouldn't be. I'm not going to be flexible. All of those things happen right there. Okay. So you want to be able to open up and be receptive to everything that needs to flow through you. Money, human beings, experiences, wealth, health, information, wisdom, all of that stuff, let it flow through, okay? In order to change the mindset, you can watch how the mechanics are going to work and then start to change your language. So in one of my videos, or more than one of my videos, because I talk about manifestation a lot, it's really about like, it's like Lego blocks, okay? When we visualize something and we give the consciousness field, okay? We give the consciousness field this visualization. Then what that does is it allows the consciousness field to go, oh, that person is open to building that in their life, receiving that in their life, okay? So now what happens is the Lego blocks start to come into your 3D world. And all of that takes place because you were receptive to it. You could see it, and then you were receptive. So I use the example of my decks on my house. I had a vision for this. I could see it. I could visualize it. It took me a lot of contractors to go through for them to then, pick up on my vision. But the minute that the contractor could see it, poof, it was made. The money flowed. There was zero resistance to it. Okay. And that's what the openness does. When you do not constrict the openness with all of the negative mindsets, with all of the, oh, I can't, I'm not enough, I have to people please, I have to rush around, I have to hurry, I have to think about things that don't matter, I have to try to get attention through the incorrect ways, I have to follow somebody else's mannerisms, like all of those things that happen in that design over there when it's undefined. All of that shit clutters up and stops the flow of a manifestation. So as you walk along in your life, having these experiences, you are gaining wisdom through the openness. What is defined in you, that becomes your business structure. And we're going to talk about that in another video. That is your business structure because that is the solid, truest version of you. This is how you deliver. This is how you represent the energy. That is the solid structure. But your solutions, they're going to change. Why? Why are they going to change? Well, they're going to change based on your life cycle. They're going to change based off of your wisdom and experience in life. So your niche is going to morph as you walk along. You're going to be pivoting. We're going to talk about that whole thing in a life cycle video. So there's more to come here. There's more to come. So stay tuned on this channel so that you can understand design in a whole new way, so you're not confused, okay? So now that you understand that the openness is that receptivity, that allowance of the energy field. And some of you might go, but Leann, I'm a quad left, so I'm not receptive. Of course you're receptive. Of course you are. Energy is flowing through you all the time. It is whether you are aware of it or not, or whether or not you're going to participate in that through energy. How are you going to participate with it? Are you going to get mentally defensive about it? Are you going to try to stop it? What's going, like, you can't stop a neutrino from flowing through you. So you are receptive. Okay. Okay. So when you flip the mindset, okay, from I can't afford, we have no money for this, to one little tiny sentence that you can say. One little tiny sentence. And that is, we're going to allow the money to show up so that we can have this experience. Poof, changes the way your cellular structure is ready to receive. I can't afford, there's no money. That puts up a block and it wants to restrict everything. Now we're going to just allow for the money to find us so that we can have this experience. Now the money has somewhere to flow through. Okay. Now, solutions. Solutions are designed to go through your openness. So an undefined center, a bridging gate, a totally open channel. One area that I found is quite interesting is if you have an undefined gate in either one of the really I'm trying to point to the 58 up to the 18, to the 48, to the 16. Where's that? And then on the other side, the 41, 30, 36, 35. If you have 3 out of the 4 gates in either one of those circuits, I find that there's massive profit potential in the one gate that you don't have. Okay, just so you're aware of that. That's my experience of this. So let's just look at the centers. Again, there's the Make Money series playlist somewhere around here that you can jump in and walk through. And again, if you need total help doing this, that's what I do. So let's take a look at the root center. Okay, what is the root center? Well, the root center is all about this adrenal pressure. It is a fuel, but when we're pressured, what happens? Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Okay. Now, if you have an undefined or open root center, what you have been learning is freedom. And freedom actually comes from leaning into our energy and versus running away from things. You cannot have an escape hatch to get away from pressure in life. It is how you interact with that pressure and turn it into a fuel that is going to totally change your life. So you're learning that, and now you can create a solution around it. Again, there's an entire series about it, so you can lean in and get more information on that if you choose. Now, if we were to just take a look at the splenic center, well, what is the splenic center? This center is very concerned about vitality. It is very concerned about patterns. It is super concerned about the immune system. Okay. And because of that concern, there are times where it will hold onto something that is not good for it. And guess what happens when that happens? We call that an autoimmune disease, where you are holding on to things that do not serve you any longer and turning them inwards and beating yourself up about it. Okay. Literally, like, cannibalizing yourself because you can't let go of a pattern. You can't let go of something that happened in your life. So what are you selling here? You're selling feel good, how to get out of or change or see a pattern that is no longer serving you, that quite literally is cannibalizing you. Okay. So because you have an undefined or open splenic center, you're learning this. You're watching other people. You're watching people with defined splenic centers and gaining the wisdom. How are they doing this? What are they doing? Right? Are they doing it? Are they doing it in a beneficial way? Or are they trying to effort through it? Now you get to learn all these things with all of these centers. Okay. Now, if we look at the sacral center, well, the sacral center is this massive motor. I look at it like the cosmic battery. It like has all of this juice in it that everybody's trying to hook onto, right? So that they can feel empowered and juiced up. So when it's undefined, you need to learn what enough is enough, how to operate in a space and pull yourself out of the addiction to the sacral juice, right? There's an addiction. Projectors get caught up in the addiction. Reflectors, manifestors, they get caught up in that addiction and they want more of this juice. And then they suck in all of this juice and they want to just go, 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 go. And then all of a sudden, poof, they're the ovaries and testes, which is hormonal, begin to dissipate, and they're procreating and creating things that actually they're not designed for. Okay, so when is enough? Then if we take a look at the solar plex, the solar plex is very interesting because there's going to be a shift here that's happening. It's leaning more into an awareness center. And I just read somewhere the other day that this is going to be a pure awareness center, and that's incorrect. There is still going to be a motor function in the 41, 30, 36, 35. There's still a motor function that's going to be available in there. So it's moving from just a motor to an awareness center that has a smaller motor in it. And what's happening over in that center is there's pain and pleasure there. And this is where the entire world spends money, running away from pain and trying to get pleasure in their life. Then they get the pleasure and then they feel really fucking guilty about it. Okay? So here is your opportunity to recognize the ups and downs in life. This is your opportunity to help people ride the wave without getting caught in the pain or yearning for a pleasure that actually may or may not be for them. So you're learning here about understanding emotionality. That's why this is called the emotional intelligence. So when we feel something, allowing for the nervous system to feel it for 90 seconds minimum, so that we can gather the intelligence of it, so that we know, is this the correct experience for us? Is our internal music really shining here? Is this the right tribe for us? Is it the right resources for us? Okay, and because the undefined emotional center is watching this dynamic all the time, it's gained the wisdom and can help other people. Now, if we take a look at the ego center. The ego center, this is all about worthiness. The number one thing that most therapists and hypnotherapists are going to tell you is that people do not feel like they are enough. I am not enough. And from that space of I am not enough, there is this deep worthiness issue on our planet. The earth plane is caught up in this efforting of trying to make promises so that you get kudos or pat on the back, or you feel like you're enough, that tribe really sees you. And because it's an undefined aspect in your chart, you have learned that. You have learned the difference between a healthy, humble ego and one that is unhealthy and pushing its way through life. And you've also learned from all the rest of the undefined ego centers, okay? So all of these are solutions that you bring into your coaching package. Then we have the identity center. The identity center is all about love and direction. Well, when we don't think that we're enough, guess what we do? We chase after somebody else's direction. We chase after someone else's love. So here, because of this dynamic of seeking love and direction outside of oneself, you have gained the understanding and the wisdom of what actual self-love is all about. What is universal love? What is the love of the body? What is the love of humanity? And then how to lean into a direction that is correct for you based off of, your inner compass. Really, and that's your decision making. It's going to guide you. It's going to guide you. Okay. Then we have the throat center. I love this. Getting attention when it's not correct. Everything's trying to get to the throat center to manifest, to communicate, to express itself. And in order for that self-expression to happen, we have to change the way we communicate with the consciousness field and how we communicate with ourselves internally and how we communicate with each other. Okay. And the manifestation, it doesn't need to be confusing. It doesn't need to be something that is hard. Okay. It just comes from a different way and a different set of language. And that really is your internal narrative, right? We can say things like, oh, I can't afford it. Oh, wealthy people are disgusting, that they have all those purses and shoes and planes and cars, and they have all that space. All of those things are not helping the manifestation process. It's like, I'm going to allow for that money to find me so that I can have that experience. And now, so what are you helping people with here? You're helping people get attention correctly. Not through, social media is quite interesting because there's a lot of people trying to get attention on there, and they're usually doing it incorrectly. They're usually doing it incorrectly. And most of you that are here on this channel, you're probably quite conservative because that's who I am, and that's how I express myself. So you'll notice when people aren't conservative that they're trying to get attention. They're out there screaming for attention. They are screaming into their video or their TikTok, trying to convince you that the world is going to die. All this stuff is going to happen. And all of it is untrue, but it is this massive amount of fear and misappropriation of energy that is screaming at people. Okay, that's inappropriate attention. Okay, and then of course we have the Ajna center. Well, what does it do? It's looking for certainty. And the head center, it's actually really here to inspire. So if we look at these two, the beauty here, when they're undefined, you get to help people with certainty. Why? Because you have lived with uncertainty. You have in the head center, you have recognized how you lose focus and think about a whole bunch of shit that doesn't matter. So now what happens is that you get to turn around and you get to express that and share that with people, how losing focus and leaning into all those distractions will be mentally exhausting, where being so scared of uncertainty that there's a very convoluted control mechanism that tries to harness everything and everyone around them, trying to stop that uncertainty and lean into certainty. Okay. So all of this openness, these are your solutions in your business. The business structure is not this. These are all the solutions that you're going to offer to your niche and to your fractal line, because you've had the life experience of it. Okay. So when you embody who you are, when you understand who you are and who you are not, and you allow for the neutrino ocean to flow through you, and that neutrino ocean can be a human being, It can be money. It can be relationships. It can be food. Whatever it is that you need to flow through you, let it flow through. That's where prosperity lives. Okay. I'm going to do a whole thing about misunderstandings as well. So there's like at least 3 videos coming up in this series, which now I'm going to make myself a note to also do that. Misunderstandings. Because that ends up being a space that we hold on to. Okay. So 3 options for you to interact with me. 1, human design, business integrated solutions. I help you build out your signature monopole offer so that you can go out into the world and actually connect with your niche and your fractal line and make a difference in your life and in theirs. 2, learn human design and lean into the mentorship. It is so much fun watching these people like embody their designs and then go out into the world and share this with human beings on their fractal line. And then 3, you'll see in the banner, prosperity reports. You can grab your prosperity report. This lets you know, in a beautiful, it's about 180 plus pages of who you are and who you are not, so that you can lean into your transformational energy and become the best version of yourself so that you can prosper, so that you can allow for life to flow through you in a totally different way. And then you can have conversations with your fractal mind and your niche so that you can absolutely change your life and the lives of those around you. Okay, so those are the 3 options. 2 are very personal, 1 is not. However, choose what is correct for you. I know in the marketing world, they tell you never give people more than 1 call to action. And I think that dumbs people down. You have 3 options to work with me. Choose 1. All right.